Hello, and welcome to the Sisters of the Shire Podcast. I'm Abby, and with me today is my beautiful co-host, Ashley, and we are here to dive into Tolkien's incredible world, making it fun and easy for everyone. So whether you are a Tolkien pro or just curious about Middle-earth, this podcast is for you.
This season, we're exploring the unfinished tales. If you know them, get ready to geek out with us. If you don't, no worries. Come discover even more of Tolkien's universe with us.
So whether you're on the go, maybe driving to work, or relaxing, or folding laundry, or whatever you're doing while you're listening to us, please join us for an epic journey through the unfinished tales.
Let's go!
Let's go! So it's been a while since we talked about the unfinished tales. We kind of took a little tiny break.
We took a side quest. Side quests are okay.
But we're back. We're back into the unfinished tales. We're jumping back into the story here.
Yes.
We, what was I going to say? I think, ended
How much do you remember?
Yeah, I think we ended on some like really crazy story that Tolkien just threw in there. Kind of like, what the heck? Kind of like, yeah. So from what I can remember, plus all the fun art that you put on our Instagram was making me I was like, why did people, there's so many beautiful things people could have painted and done artwork of in the Silmarillion and the Unfinished Tales, but they were like, you know what? I'm going to dedicate a chunk of my life to making this beautiful painting of this harassment of a story
that
and a naked
people
elf.
know about. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just naked.
Yeah. So, what's his name? Turin was being bullied by an elf.
Cyros.
He
made a snarky comment about Turin's mama. You don't do that to Turin's mama.
And that he's like gross mortal man and he needs to brush his hair and he needs to bathe and making fun of like the whole race of men and like where he's from.
Yeah.
And
Turin's like, I'll show you. I'm throwing a cup at your face.
And Turin was trying to be the better man about it, but then he was like, no, actually, I hate this guy. and threw a cup at him. And then Cyros was like, you know what? I'm going to catch him off guard. I'm going to hide out in these woods and I'm going to jump attack him. And I feel like he's very much like, Daddy bought me fencing lessons, so I know how to be a good fighter.
Yeah.
And he tried to jump Turin in the woods, but Turin basically said, like, it was like
you just gave me a reason.
Yeah, it was like such an easy fight for him. He's like, ugh, this is like annoying. But he's like, you know what? I've had enough of you. And he kind of went a little too far. He went a little crazy.
Yeah.
Turin did. And he started chasing Cyros after he'd like beaten him down and like broke his shield or broke his something.
Broke his shield. Got that sword away from him. He's like, what should I do now?
Yeah. And so like he's like, I'm going to make a mockery of you now because you keep making fun of me. And so I'm going to make fun of you now. And so for some reason, he like rips all of his clothes off. I don't get why. And kind of chases him through the woods, talking, like poking him with his giant sword.
Yep.
It feels very cartoon, you know, like when someone, you know, with like old cartoons where they're running and they're like, bah! and they like jump and they're like being shot at, or they're like have like fireworks or something. It felt very much like that. And so they were like, he was chasing him, and Cyros, I guess, didn't get that it was a bit, didn't get that it was just a joke, man. Just playing
Them's just jokes. Yeah.
And decided that he was going to die. Like, this is how he was going to die. This crazy wild man was going to kill him, and he was running through the forest naked, and he's like, I can jump this ravine. No.
No.
And he tries to jump this ravine. Okay. In Turin's defense, in my mind's eye, they're running, and then I can see Turin be like, no, man, wait, no, stop. Like, like, no, please don't. Like, not chasing him to the edge, laughing about it. I could see him being like,
I agree.
Like, no, dude, stop, please don't. Like, realizing the severity of what's going to happen, and he's like freaking out. He's like, no, like, stop right now. But he doesn't stop, jumps off the ravine, doesn't make it to the other side, falls into the rocks below and dies. And Turin in the Silmarillion is like, oh no, like, I am the worst person ever. I can't face these people again. Feel so guilty and so heartbroken that I've done this. And he runs away. But I guess in this version, his friend Mablang was like, dude, I saw what happened. I can explain to everybody, like, this is what really happened. And I know that Cyros has been like egging you on to beat, like, he's been bullying you, so it's not coming out of nowhere. And we can explain it. You don't have to like feel like you're the victim, or like not the victim, but like you did this on purpose to kill him. Like, I can tell that it was an accident. But Turin's like, you know what? I don't care about any of y'all. Like, you guys are all jerks.
How dare he put this on me? Now I have to feel guilty? I'm not going to feel guilty for that guy dying. Yeah.
For some reason, the Unfinished Tales version of Turin is like, like, you know what I mean? Like, not a very...
He's not guilty. He doesn't feel sad about it. He doesn't feel guilty about it. He just was like, that's kind of inconvenient.
He's like, dang it. Like, how am I going to explain this one?
Well, he doesn't even want to try and explain it. He's just like, no one will understand. And this wasn't my fault. This was his fault. But he was friends with the king. And surely the king isn't going to trust my word over his. Well, he doesn't get a word because he's dead. But I'm sure he would side with him anyway. So I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Moblug's
so basically...
Well, please don't get...
I can't change your mind.
Killed, and please... Yeah, I can't change your mind. You know, I hope things don't get worse for you in your life. You're kind of a dark soul, Turin, but try and see the light. I don't know.
Yeah. Good luck. Here, I packed you some trail mix.
So yeah, that's actually where we pretty much left off. Turin goes away and then he disappears.
And then he runs away. No one understands. Like,
yeah. Not, I just killed someone. I feel so bad, but yeah. So after Turin has run away, everyone, has kind of been reeling since the incident. Time is passing on. Doesn't say how much time, but eventually Beleg's like, that Turin kid was supposed to be back by now. He said he was just going to go for a quick sword sharpening or an armor tune-up and maybe a hot bath or something. Goodness knows that kid needs it. But, even Turin can't bathe for this long. What's taking him so long? So Beleg goes to Menegroth, the kind of palace, and to figure out what happened to him. And what a tale he gets to hear about what happened to Turin. Quote, and with a heavy heart, he gathered news of Turin's deeds and fight. It's like, and then he did what? And then What?
Excuse me. Excuse me. Say that part again.
My Turin? No. Cyros? Yeah, well, that checks. But that part checks out.
He killed an elf, or an elf died from him mocking him. Really? What elf? Thyros. Well, anyway.
Alas.
Thoughts and prayers.
So, shortly after Beleg returns to Menegroth and hears everything, then Thingol and Melian return from their summer holiday, and they get to hear all about Turin's escapade as well. They'll, I imagine them coming in with like Hawaiian leis and like like an aloha shirt and sunglasses.
They have like a tan.
Yes, they're like, my king, you will never guess what happened. Yes, I'm sure it was fascinating. I just need to lay down. I've got the worst jet lag, But then he actually hears what happened. He's like, okay, I guess we have to deal with this now. And he basically turns Menegroth into a courtroom. So this is our episode where we have, Judge Thingol in the house, y'all. We're about to enter courtroom television. So he gathers everyone to tell him what happened. Okay, now what did you see happen? I saw Cyros bullying Turin and then throw a comb at him. Oh, that's
it's in an evidence bag. It's in an evidence bag. The little comb.
This comb? Was this the comb in question?
Yes.
And then another guy comes up. I saw him chasing him in the woods, naked. Sure?
Yeah, from the crowd.
Yeah. Now, I'm sure there were some conflicting reports. Not everyone saw the things that, everyone else saw. I imagine the scene in the forest was just, because they couldn't keep up with him as they were running. So I imagine they just thought, I saw a glimpse of him. I swear he was naked. No, I think he had on something. Oh, no, I'm pretty sure he was naked. But
please, can I interview, they have, birds come to the stand? They're like, please tell us what you saw in the forest.
Squeak, squeak, it's squeaking. And it's funny to me. You would think that Cyros would have friends that would be like, I want justice. This man child is going to hear it from us, and but there's really no talk of that, which I find kind of funny. The fact that Cyros doesn't have any friends though isn't surprising, but I mean, yeah. Well, actually, we did talk about Cyros and Dayron, Derek from the band being friends. Where is Dayron around?
He's sitting in the crowd and he's looking around oh, no way. Oh, he's not wanting to be any part of it. He's like, oh, that's crazy.
So a lot, needless to say, a lot of people had things to say on the subject. Quote, and at the last, Thingol sighed, and he said, alas, how has this shadow stolen into my realm? Cyros, I accounted faithful and wise, but if he lived, he would feel my anger, for his taunting was evil, and I hold him to blame for all that chanced in the hall. So far, Turin has my pardon, but the shaming of Cyros and the hounding of him to his death were wrongs greater than the offense, and these deeds I cannot pass over. They show a hard heart and proud.
Okay, so he gets that it was a bad thing.
Yeah.
He's that could have gone a little better.
But I like the term a hard heart and proud, and perhaps maybe a bit twisted. Maybe we need to have Turin checked for something.
Yikes.
Yeah. So,
I said, they need some psychiatrists, therapists, mental health therapy. They need a practice coming out of where do they live?
Doriath.
Menegroth.
Yeah.
maybe his insurance didn't cover it, you know?
Maybe. Elves only, I'm sure. So he's speaking these words aloud, and he's basically the judge in a courtroom. I imagine him with the wig on and everything. But what he says next is almost tender sounding, coming from the usually cold and stern Thingol, and it just kind of, aw. He says, quote, "This is an ungrateful foster son, and a man too proud for his state. How shall I harbor one who scorns me and my law, or pardon one who will not repent? Therefore, I will banish Turin, son of Hurin, from the kingdom of Doriath. If he seeks entry, he shall be brought to judgment before me, and until he sues for pardon at my feet," I imagine he's choking up, "he is my son no longer. If any here accounts this unjust, let him speak." So
And he's still wearing a Hawaiian lei and like his sunglasses. No. I can totally see him being like, take him away.
where did I go wrong?
I can't even
Where did I go wrong? What could I have done? Maybe I should have played catch with him more. Maybe I should have, taught him how to fish.
Is this my fault? No, nothing's ever my fault.
No, silly Thingol. And who could possibly say that Thingol is wrong here? I mean, it really was a messed up thing Turin did. Like, what could possibly excuse what he did? So, understandably, the hall is completely silent. There's no one being like, but actually, no, there's just like, let's get this over with. So they're all waiting for Thingol to pass his sentence, or as Tolkien puts it, pronounce his doom. When, all of a sudden, who should burst into the room?
I object.
Pretty much. Beleg. And I imagine him like busting through the doors, panting, sweating, maybe holding a stitch in his side, maybe even he's like, "I object!" And then he starts, hold on, holds his finger up, asks him to wait while he catches his breath. And
that was a really long run. I didn't think it was going to be this long.
Man, I'm out of shape. And here's how the conversation goes between Beleg and Thingol. Beleg: "Lord, may I yet speak?" Thingol: "You come late. Were you not bidden with the others?" Beleg: "Truly, Lord, but I was delayed. I stopped for one whom I knew. Now I bring at last a witness who should be heard before your doom falls." Thingol: "All were summoned who had aught to tell. What can he tell now of more weight than those to whom I have listened?" Beleg: "You shall judge when you have heard. Grant this to me if I have ever deserved your grace." Thingol: To you I grant it." So, Beleg leaves.
Who's it gonna be?
Beleg leaves the room and comes back, leading an elf maiden whom we have met before. Someone who knew Turin quite well. Do you know who it is?
It would be rad if it was his mom, because I'd be like, where has she been this whole time?
He doesn't even, Thingol just says, "That boy has been worried sick about you."
Yeah.
You don't call, you don't write.
Where have you been? No, it's
Okay.
where
his inner Molly Weasley comes out. I love it.
No,
Okay.
not Cosgo.
Okay, so it's not Morwen. It is, in fact, Nellas. I told you she was coming back. Yeah. Quote, And she was afraid, both for the great pillared hall and the roof of stone, and for the company of many eyes that watched her. So this is...
she did a big girl thing to help her friend.
Mm-hmm. So this is why I leaned a bit more towards her having like an actual like phobia or like anxiety attack about being indoors. Like, I just imagine Beleg like leading her in, like, you know, holding her hand, you know, holding her back, and she's just like shaking, like eyes darting around, like looking terrified. And then she works up her nerve. She stands before Thingol, and he asks her to speak. And she says, Lord, I was sitting in a tree. But then she faltered in awe of the king and could say no more.
So that's it. That's all she gets.
That's all she gets. Well, for now. You know, poor Nella. She, like, one would think that this Thingol we know from the Silmarillion would have been like, come on, spit it out. But in fact, we actually get a little bit like of a nice but like kind of sassy, quirky, humorous reply as he says, quote, others have done this also, but have felt no need to tell me of it. Like, that's cool. You sit in trees.
Oh, that's so great. Good job, honey.
Yeah. And Thingol, he even like kind of smiles as he says it, and his smile gives Nellis that little bit of courage she needs to press on. So she says, quote, others indeed, even Luthien. And of her I was thinking that morning, and of Baron, the man. Okay. Tread lightly.
Daydreaming of.
But also tread lightly, Nellis. Like, we know how Thingol is about when you mention his daughter, and especially when you mention Baron. So just let's tread lightly. Just be careful. Because after she says that, Thingol doesn't say anything. He's not even smiling any longer. And he smiled no longer, but waited until Nellis should speak again. And so she continues.
Nice to her.
She continues, and I don't know if she just didn't realize his reaction. I don't know if she knows that, you know, Luthien and Baron are like a touchy subject for him. But she says, quote, for Turin reminded me of Baron. They are akin, I am told, and their kinship can be seen by some that look close. Like, she just keeps going on. And Thingol, understandably, loses his patience and said, that may be. But Turin, son of Hurin, is gone in scorn of me, and you will see him no more to read his kindred. For now I will speak my judgment. And I imagine he like gets out his gavel and he's like about to come down. And Nellis frantically cries out. And she's like, Lord King, bear with me and let me speak first. I sat in a tree to look on Turin as he went away, and I saw Cyros come out from the wood with sword and shield and spring on Turin at unawares. And that, everyone in the courtrooms gasps, yes, and starts whispering to each other. And I could just see Judge Thingol bang a gavel, crying for order.
And Derek from the band's in the ground, like, sliding down his seat, like putting his hand over his eyes, like,
I knew this wouldn't be good. So Thingol says, quote, you bring graver news to my ear than seemed likely. Take heed now to all that you say, for this is a court of doom.
Oh.
He's like, well, I didn't see that coming. Well, tread lightly. This is a court of law or doom.
So Turin's not even there, right?
Right.
Okay.
So then she replies, quote, so Beleg has told me, and only for that have I dared to come here, so that Turin shall not be ill-judged.
She's so nice to him. He doesn't deserve it.
I know. And then she goes on, he is valiant, but he is merciful. They fought, Lord, these two, until Turin had bereft Cyros of both shield and sword. But he did not slay him. Therefore, I do not believe that he willed his death in the end. If Cyros were put to shame, it was a shame that he had earned.
Yeah, he's a bully.
But, like, I still think he should have gotten in a little trouble. Like, it doesn't
Ooh,
really excuse it.
Cyro should have gotten into trouble? Or
No,
Turin?
Turin.
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, and such a parent, such a mom things like,
Yeah.
that doesn't excuse your behavior.
Yeah.
You still have consequences.
Yeah. And, I really do think that Beleg and Nellis thought that Turin could have been sentenced to death at this whole thing. And that was like the only reason she got up the courage to come into Menegroth and, be under roofs of stone and be around people that would terrify her. And it just breaks my heart. But Nellis, making the judgment that Cyros had earned anything, Thingol kind of just scoffs at, saying, "Judgment is mine, but what you have told shall govern it." Like, it's up to me, ma'am. You don't get to decide. I'm the judge here. I have the wig. I have the gavel.
He pulls out a wig. He puts it on top. He has a little powdered wig. Amazing.
He has some follow-up question for Nellis, which of course we don't get to hear the details of. But after he does that, he asks Moblung, who was probably the best and only eyewitness to witness everything except what Nellis saw. And he was also the last to speak to Tor before he left. And Thingol's like, "So Turin didn't tell you anything about this Cyro sneak attack thing? Like, he didn't mention that at all. Like, why wouldn't he mention that? That's kind of weird."
He's probably embarrassed.
And he didn't think to try and excuse what happened before, because Cyros attacked first. Like, he didn't even try to get out of that. And Moblung is even kind of sad because he's like, "Well, if I had known, I would have said something differently to Turin. Like, now I feel bad."
Oh no.
But Thingol takes this new evidence and pronounces a new sentence / doom. He says, quote, "Hear me, such fault as can be found in Turin, I now pardon, holding him wronged and provoked. And since it was indeed, as he said, one of my council who so misused him, he shall not seek for this pardon, but I will send it to him, wherever he may be found, and I will recall him in honor to my halls."
Well,
so apparently
Turin's not even there to know that he's
right
pardoned.
Right. And I really can't get over this. So just because he attacked first, it excuses the taunting and the humiliating thing that Turin did. I'm still not sure if I agree with that, but okay.
Yeah.
But, you think this would be good news. You think that Nellis would be happy after hearing this. But she actually starts crying, thinking, Turin has run away into the wilds. And, quote, "Where can he be found? He has left our land, and the world is wide." How are we going to find him again?
Oh, she's so cute.
Yeah.
I'm sad she wasn't included in the regular book.
Right? To which Thingol replies, quote, "He shall be sought." And I'm sure Thingol is thinking, "I've got the perfect man for the job." And maybe Thingol and Beleg shared a look when he said that, because as the courtroom is being dismissed and Beleg is leading Nellis out of Menegroth, Beleg says to her, quote, "Do not weep, for if Turin lives or walks still abroad, I shall find him, though all others fail."
Oh, okay. Turin, you've got a great support system. Why are you being so weird and not helpful?
Yeah. So
the
next day, Beleg appears before Thingol and Melian, and Thingol says, quote, "Counsel me, Beleg, for I am grieved. I took Hurin's son as my son, and so he shall remain, unless Hurin himself should return out of the shadows to claim his own. I would not have any say that Turin was driven forth unjustly into the wild, and gladly would I welcome him back, for I loved him well.
Ugh. Okay, so it always reminds me of like those scenes when like there's like a goth kid or whatever, and it's like the trope of like super loving parents that are like, and then they're like, you just don't understand me. No one loves me. And then like he had the like biggest support system and like
we love you.
Yeah.
And then Beleg, our beloved Beleg, just replies, quote, I will seek Turin until I find him, and I will bring him back to Menegroth if I can, for I love him also.
Oh. See? Come on, Turin.
Mm-hmm. Then he departed, and far across Beleriand he sought in vain for tidings of Turin, through many perils, and that winter passed away, and the spring after.
Okay, so remind me if I'm wrong, but in the story of Tour, I'm jumping stories here.
You jump. I'm with you.
When they're in the forest and then they see that guy like running past, like screaming, and going like, ah! And they're like, that was weird. Anyway, let's keep going.
Yeah.
That's Turin, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Not after this part. That's after what happens in Nargothrond when the dragon like hypnotizes him and the orcs take away the girl that he's never going to be loved. Yeah. He can't ever love her the way she deserves to be loved.
That just is the part that I remember is like some guy like screaming and running across the screen and they're like, what? That was weird. Like,
yeah.
Anyways.
So I'm sorry it's a bit of a short one, but I'm going to talk a little bit more about this because that's where we're ending as far as the book, because it literally is like a new section after this. Not a new chapter, but like, no, it's like Turin among the outlaws. And I just thought,
he becomes an outlaw.
Yeah. But what's interesting here is he must have just liked the way that he did it in the Silmarillion, because this, I believe, is when Beleg gets the sword when he talks to Thingol here. And that doesn't happen in this version. Remember, he's like, I need a cool
sword?
Yeah. I don't remember the quote exactly, but it was like, I'm going to give you any weapon you want to help get Turin back. And Beleg's like, I'll take this one. And it's like the coolest looking one, but it's also like evil-ish. It was made with the cold heart of a hole, so it's a little evil.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it's interesting that it's not in this version, but he's like, I pretty much nailed it the first time, so let's not rehash that.
Pretty much nailed it, so
yeah. So yeah, it should be mentioned. We're gonna have to talk about how and by the way, he got a sword a while ago. Anyways, like,
I really want someone to do like a what is that show called?
It's
a like a cop show. What is that show called?
Most Wanted?
Crime. No. It's the theme song is like dun dun.
Law and Order.
Law and Order. A Law and Order episode of this part of the story.
Yes, because I can just see maybe Derek from the band actually was on the other side of the bench, and he's like, Judge Thingol, sir, I demand that this Nellis be removed from this court. She is an unreliable witness. Look at her shaking there.
Yeah. She has clearly have been living in the woods for too long. She is. Dang it, now I want a Law and Order episode. But like everybody's really beautiful.
Yes. And his gavel has to be like made of something really cool.
Like gold and like jewels and all these things. And he wears a wig. Like he puts a powdered wig on over, and he has judge's robes, but they're still beautiful, but they're like judge's robes.
Yes.
Yeah.
We can dream, Abby. We can dream.
I know.
Well, thank you for joining us on this epic journey through Middle-earth. Sorry it was a bit shorter, but we will have more fun next week. Feel free to follow us at Sisters of the Shire Podcast on Instagram for fun posts and art and memes. Be sure to look at our Patreon, patreon.com/Sisters of the Shire Podcast. You can become an elf friend of the Shire, like our buddies Christian and Tom, or a dwarf friend like our buddy Dan. Or for $9, you can be a man or woman friend of the Shire. Your support helps keep these tales alive. It really helps us support the podcast and the things that we have to pay for to make this happen. So we really, really appreciate it. A little bit goes a long way. It means a lot.
Yeah, it does. And I don't know if many of you saw the little giveaway we're doing on our Instagram, that if you are a paying Patreon subscriber, you get the prize for free. Like, you automatically win. Like, they're not counting against the 3 picked winners. Those are different winners. If you're a Patreon subscriber and a monetary Patreon subscriber, monetarily paying, you automatically get the prize.
So that's check like your mail for Shane and Tom and Dan. When are you going to send those out, Abby?
Yes. Huh?
When are you going to send? So when are you sending them out?
The winners will be picked when this episode comes out.
Okay.
And then we will I will send them all in the mail. So I will need some addresses. So I will be contacting our patrons.
Okay.
Patron. If you haven't, please go enter the giveaway.
Yes.
Today is your last day. If you're hearing this episode on the day it comes out, today is your last day.
It's such a cute drawing that her husband Colt drew of Merry and Pippin with a tree beard in a kind of Calvin and Hobbes-esque style. It's so cute.
It's a watercolor. It's really cute.
Yes. So get on that so you can also win a cool artist drawing thing. Be sure to submit a review. We did get a new review on Spotify. Thank you for whoever did that. Yes. And as far as world news, Italy overtook Spain, which I imagine was an interesting battle. The Philippines overtook France, another interesting battle. And I'm not sure, this might be a bit too close to home or too realistic. Iran overtook Pakistan.
Oh no.
Play nice, kids.
It's just for fun. The only time we're allowing it.
Yes. We will have to do some episodes. We are going to be doing some episodes on the new season of Rings of Power. So stand by for that. If you ever want to just send us an email, you're welcome to. Our email is at Sisters of the Shire Podcast at gmail.com.
Yeah. And share us with your friends, family, loved ones, anybody you like.
Yeah.
We appreciate it.
Yeah. Until next week, I've been Ashley.
And I've been Abby. Oh, wait. Thank you for teaching me today.
I thought I was missing something. I was like, there's usually a prompt here. What are we doing? It's been so long.
I know. Thank you for teaching me today.
You're welcome. Until next week, I've been Ashley.
And I've been Abby, and this has been the Sisters of the Shire podcast, and we're so happy that you joined us today, and we hope that you can join us next time. Bye! Bye.
Thank you for teaching me a day.